What's up, guys? Aroneous here with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Today's video I'm going to be doing a showcase. So, the showcase is going to be on an older champion, and it is a fusion champion as well. And that champion is no one other than VERSULF the Grim. So, if you guys have this champion, which many of you may not have him, especially if you're a new player to the game, or if maybe you just pulled him from a shard, he may be someone you may be interested in building. So, personally, I have VERSULF the Grim in a cruel set right here. Okay, crit damage with crit rate, which is not bad. And then speed boots. I do have his total stats: 65,000 HP, about 2,200 defense, 183 speed, 100% crit rate, of course, and 262 crit damage. I also got a little bit of accuracy on him too, because he does need a little bit of accuracy in his kit. Now, if you wanted to go full out nuke on this guy and do absolutely zero accuracy, you could do that too. However, I don't recommend it because you also want to utilize this guy in different areas of the game. So I'm going to show you a couple places that I play him in. But first I'm going to go into arena. We're going to do a couple of fights in arena, see how well he hits. I just put the Helm Smasher perk on him, and I would suggest possibly going either with the Blood Shield, which places a shield on himself for 1 turn when this champion kills an enemy except boss minions. The value of the shield is 15% of the champion's max HP. Since he scales on HP, his shields are going to be halfway decent, over 10k, so about 12k based on the 65,000 HP, 12k to 14k HP shield, which is not terrible. It's actually halfway decent. So if I go here, kill streak, I could also do increased damage inflicted by 6% in the arena, 3% in all other locations for each enemy killed by this champion in battle, and it stacks up to 12%. Now, this either one would be fine. Personally, if you want to go with more damage, a little bit more damage, just go with kill streak. I just don't have the masteries yet. And down here, I did go support on him. However, counterattack masteries may be better. I just wanted a little bit more accuracy on him for Doom Tower content. And he does have an aura, HP aura in all battles by 33%. His kit really quickly. The reason why you want to have accuracy in his kit: attacks one enemy, 50% chance of placing a provoke debuff for 1 turn. Also places a shield on this champion for 2 turns equal to 10% of his max HP. So every time he uses his A1, since I have 65,000 HP, I'm getting a 6.5k HP shield. On his A2, attacks all enemies, prerequisite, right? So places an extra hit on enemies under stun, freeze, fear, true fear, provoke, petrification debuffs. Each hit has a 75% chance of also placing a leech for 2 turns, so that's not a bad ability. Now, I don't have him booked. Unfortunately, I have 1 book in the A1, 1 book in the A2. Free to play problems, right? Okay, so attacks all enemies. We want to be able to utilize this skill, so we are going to make sure we place at least 1 of these debuffs before using this guy to attack. And I have the perfect team set up for him. You also have this A3, Quality Minions. Places a 60% increased defense buff on all allies for 2 turns. Also places an ally protection buff on all allies except this champion for 2 turns. So he inevitably just places an increased defense on himself. So no ally protection, of course, because he's protecting the allies. It is on a 3-turn cooldown. So if you wanted to build this guy for complete support, you absolutely could with high accuracy. No shame in doing that. However, this guy does hit fairly hard. So he doesn't hit, I don't think, as hard as Magnar. If I'm mistaken, I could be mistaken, but I don't believe he hits as hard as Magnar. He may, but I have to double check the... You know what? Let me go ahead and pull it up. Let me just check Magnar's multipliers. On a Human Love's website here, we've got Magnar pulled up. So Magnar's multipliers here on his A2, I believe it is. Let's take a look here. Magnar's skills: percussive pound, attacks all enemies, places an extra hit on enemies without HP burn, 50% chance of placing a stun as well for 1 turn on enemies under HP burn. This is a 0.22 HP multiplier. Now, if we go and search for VERSULF, he actually has a higher multiplier than Magnar. So VERSULF the Grim, of course, if you place one of the debuffs, has a higher multiplier than Magnar. So VERSULF has a 0.25. It's right behind me, right above my head there. It's like literally right there. 0.25 HP. So he does have a harder hitting ability here if he hits twice. But of course, it's based on if you have a debuff out on the floor, then he'll place the extra hit. So that's the only issue with VERSULF, and that's why people tend to use Magnar instead, because you don't have to worry about that. So let me go ahead and take you into battle with this guy, and let's see what he can do. And he doesn't have a passive, of course, and I don't have a blessing on him. I don't have his gear ascended, so it's not like he's going to be insane, but let's see. We'll see. Let's see how good he does, right? We are in gold 5. Let's go ahead and just do a refresh here. See what we could face for teams. Of course, if we go against this team, they're just going to place the stupid block damage. So I'm not going to face him. You know what? Let's go against this team. This team, they're going to place increased defense. They're just going to be kind of annoying. Tuhanawak is going to cleanse. So hopefully we can just nuke him down. We'll just replace Foley. So one thing I want to make you aware of here is that VERSULF the Grim does, if you full auto him and don't do a preset, he will go into his A3 ability and try to protect the team. We want him to go into Reign of Sorrow. Okay, so I'll make sure to manual this. So we're going to go ahead and right into the fight. Let's see what he can do. I think he's going to do some decent damage because we've got our boy Basilius Rowanus here with the stuns. We're going to increase attack. It does nothing to him. It's just going to increase our speed. We want to place those stuns on everybody. We weren't able to place it here on this chick, but we will place decreased defense on her. And now we're going to go in with this guy. We've got a stun here, stun here, stun here. So he will do a double hit on these three, but not on her. So the one issue we're going to have is she has a passive ability similar to Seeker, where she places increased defense on everybody. So let's see if we can take him out. Boom, 20k, boom, 18. So it wasn't as good of a damage as I expected it to be, but they do have increased defense there on the floor. So let's see what happens here. So she did cleanse. No fun there. Let's go ahead and strip. Do this. We're going to A1 now after I hopefully kill her. Nope. Unlucky. 34,000 damage, so not that crazy again. So he's not hitting as hard as I expected him to hit, but he's also not in a lethal set or a savage set. He's more so built for CC, right? Well, not CC. He's built to be able to utilize his CC ability on the A1 if we can actually proc it, and then to utilize the leech ability as well. So he would be halfway decent against Hydra. You know, I think that the other champion, there's another champion you can build as well that's even better, which I'll do a showcase on him another time, but Vault of the Thorn is way better in Hydra than VERSULF the Grim. So I'm not going to get into that, but basically his abilities can go through weak hits, whereas VERSULF the Grim's does not. So let's see, we're going to choose another team here. Can we kill Baron? Let's see. I think we can kill Baron, no problem. Of course, Baron's not built tanky, probably. Okay, 3 stuns. All right, so we did end up hitting into a reaction set here on Baron. So that's going to be a little bit of a problem, of course. So I don't know if we're going to be able to two-shot him, right? And of course, the provoke or the stun fell off on these 2 champions. So that's a big issue, right? Because now he's not going to do his double hit. So we need to speed boost next time. So we did 50,000 damage on this one here. On Baron. Not terrible, but we would have hoped that we would get another hit. And that's why nobody really utilizes this guy in Arena, because half the time they're so fast that he isn't able to utilize his double hitting ability. I really feel like they should just give him the ability. They shouldn't be putting him behind a wall there with this ability where it only hits twice if there's a stun or another debuff. That's not appropriate. Especially if he's a legendary and you've got Magnar outshining a legendary. That's just wrong, in my opinion. You know what? Let's try this team here, too. Okay, 50% mitigated damage. Or I believe Harima has that passive if you have a champion in, like, Savage, which goes through defense. I think she mitigates, like, up to 50% of it. So let's do our boosts here. Let's go ahead and try to stun. So we stunned 3 again. Okay, so she was able to take a turn, of course. Now we have it on these 2, so hopefully we can kill them. So we've got, boom, 41, 41. He wasn't even able to take a second hit. So we were able to kill them just fine. So in this case, he would have to be built fast, but in the current meta, you know, champions are built a lot slower, and there's a lot of cleansing, and there's a lot of stone skins, so you just wouldn't even ever use this guy unless you're early game to mid game. And then once you get to late game, you're really not utilizing this guy all that often up here. I mean, he's a fun champion to use, but I just figured he would have brought a little bit more to the table personally. But apparently not. So like against a team like this, you got the Cleanser and Pythion. They're really fast. So if he cleanses everything, which he could, that's a problem too. But we need to make sure we're stunning everybody. So we didn't get the stun because they removed the debuff because of Resurgent Mastery. So that's not good either. She's going to make everybody speed up, which removes the stuns. Again, not very good here. So we're going to go ahead and put a weaken. We weren't able to put the weaken, but we decreased the speed. Let's see what he does. Boom. 40,000. Revive. Okay, that's not good. Go ahead and hit him. And now he's got the block debuffs buff. Not good. Of course, Georgid is about to take a turn soon. Go ahead and steal those. Can we take out Georgid? Yeah, let's just get him out of there. Let's speed ourselves up. We'll attack her. She's gone. Let's go here. And he has a revive, by the way. There's the revive. Forgot about that. I just realized that last second. Like, oh yeah, there's double reviver. Silly me. So at this point, it's just a matter of time right before Georgid goes and just absolutely nukes people. So he wasn't able to take me out, unfortunately. And there he did. Okay, let's go ahead and revive. So let's see if we can even win this, right? Alright, he just did the block debuffs buff again. Go ahead and remove. Can we reduce their turn meter? So he's dead. Long cooldown as well here. Only 7,000 because he got the strengthen. Let's try to take him out. Go ahead and remove. Okay. Increase speed. Still no. He still doesn't have his ability back, and he just revived, but he does have his ability back now. So this is still a problem, you know what I mean? So it's long cooldowns. You know, and Magnar just outshines him. I don't think I have a Magnar yet, but I'm going to double check. But I don't believe I have Magnar. I have Bivald and I have him. Plus, Georgid just hits wicked hard, right? As you can see, Georgid is a monster. He's a monster Void champion. Are we going to be able to win, though? That's the question. Okay, there's the revive yet again. Take him out. Okay. We're going to actually wait for a second here. Can we take a turn? I just need to make sure I get the stun out there. Okay. Of course we can't because of Pythion being super annoying of a champion. And there's the revive now again. This is going to be like a never-ending battle. Apologies. I don't have my revive back. Let's just go ahead and do this ability. He's not going to do 2 hits. Pythion is super OP, one of the most OP champions in the game. So maybe it is a good showcase for this team specifically, just to show that, you know, unfortunately we're not doing crazy damage with this guy, even though he's in pretty decent crit rate, crit damage, pretty high HP in my opinion. You know, obviously he's not at like 80,000 HP, but he's still at a pretty decent amount of HP in my opinion. So he's almost dead now, just taking a while. See, there's the revive again. So clearly he's fully booked for the Pythion here. Fears across the board, that's not fun. Extra turn from Georgid yet again. Oh my god! Jesus! Okay, that's ridiculous. The Georgid's overpowered. So the biggest issue here is coming in and not being fast enough, right, to lap them. You got these teams that are ridiculously fast up here. Of course, I'm kind of only 300, not a little bit less than 300 points away from platinum, so it's like I am facing halfway decent teams up here. Let's go against this team here. 305k team power. Interesting that they have a Gaelic here. All right, let's try this out. Boom. Of course, target change. He removed debuff as well. So we're going to attack twice. Boom. 48. Okay, target change 23. So that's a problem too, because the second hit counts as a single target hit if you're going up against Ultimate Death Knight. Whereas Magnar's hit is just going to kill everybody. 2 hits, boom, dead. So yeah, this guy is super underwhelming in my opinion. He definitely needs a buff. Like, definitely needs a buff. He is a lot worse than I expected him to be. Even though his multipliers are apparently higher than Magnar's, he just doesn't seem to be hitting that hard. Like, do I need to be putting him in a lethal set or a savage set to actually get damage? But then you won't be able to utilize him for his CC abilities. So either they need to buff him so that he has unresistible abilities and you can put little to no accuracy, or you just simply build this guy as an all-out tank champion, and you build him with high accuracy, super tanky, and then maybe you could build him in like a, you could build him in stone skin, you could build him in other ways like a bolster as well if you wanted to. But he does do the provokes though with a 300 accuracy. You don't need a crazy amount of accuracy on this guy for arena, because majority of the times you're going to land the ability with over 300 accuracy. Most champions aren't going to have 500 to 600 unless you're closing in on platinum for resistance. All right, so this should be a win here. All right, so they're dead, but it's like, I don't know. I don't think he hits very hard. I kind of want to go against this team again. I'm going to go against this team once more. And we're going to use Rhonda. So let's go ahead and try to stun everybody. Okay, so we did stun everybody across the board this time. I am going to use Rhonda just to kill Arbiter. Rhonda's a freaking beast, by the way. So unfortunately, my guy's not fast enough. He needs to do more damage here. He just doesn't. Okay, barely any damage there. Come on, Rhonda. Okay, she's speeding him up again. 150,000 damage? Oh my god, that's ridiculous. Georgia's OP. Literally. Ridiculously OP. And this is the team that I would typically run. Full auto. This is what I would use. There you go. Revive this. No, seriously. Revive this. Come on. Take a turn. Take a turn. There you go. Yeah, revive that. Yeah. See how one change of a champion makes a difference? This defense is annoying. But if you just do a block revive on all of them, man, they're not really talking now, huh? So this champion, VERSULF the Grim, I do also utilize him in Doom Tower. And mainly I'm just utilizing him against the Magma boss. It is an 8-minute run. So as soon as I get more refresh gear, so I want refresh gear on my Husk, I would probably just put 2 Husks instead of 1 Husk. And so I would probably replace Umbral Enchantress with another Husk. But it is full auto. You know, I can full auto it, no problem. And it's not that quick, I will say. But it's a decent team. Now, obviously, there's other options you can utilize to try to speed it up a little bit faster. But I just didn't want to do that. This is just the team that I wanted to use. So he does have the provoke on the A1, 50% chance of landing. And whenever he's attacked, At 20% chance of placing a provoke debuff on the attacker, and it occurs once per hit. So that's not too bad. So he's decent against certain bosses. He could also be halfway decent in Hydra. Not going to spend too much more time on this. That's the guy. He hits somewhat hard. Again, I put him in halfway decent gear. It's not Savage gear, but he does have Cruel. He is in Helm Smasher. You're ignoring 30% of the enemy defense, and still he hits like kind of like a wet noodle, honestly. His double hitter, it really shouldn't have this, this blocked ability without, this prerequisite where you have to have an extra hit only if you place a stun, freeze, fear, true fear, provoke. This is stupid. This just needs to get taken out of his kit. Completely remove it. Just make it so it's like Magnar, okay? Allow him to hit twice. Don't give him this prerequisite requirement. It's not worth it. Plus, this is a good ability here, which is nice. It's awesome for clan boss as well. You can use them in other areas of the game to help keep your teams alive, especially in dungeons. So early game, really good. Mid game, really good. Late game and end game, he starts to fall off a little bit, especially in end game arena. You could use him in tag team. He'd be halfway decent in tag team. Again, I would probably focus more on his provokes, his increased defense, his ally protection. I would focus on him getting hit a lot, right? Now this ability just doesn't seem that great. It's just not that great. It's not doing it for me. He wasn't hitting that hard. Even if I went and put a lethal set on him or a savage set, he's probably going to do what? 20k more damage. And I'm not utilizing him as my main damage dealer in arena. As you saw, I used Foley. So yeah, what do you guys think about this guy? Leave it in the comments down below. Kind of underwhelming for me, but again, there are some use cases for him. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on a video soon. Peace.